Hey, Dan here, and in this video we are going to talk about when not to advertise as an accountant. So if you are an accountant, you want to get more clients, first thing that you are probably going to think about is, I need to do some advertising. But there's also a period as an accounting firm owner when it's absolutely not a good idea to start advertising for your accounting firm. And there's one big reason that you do not want to advertise if you are in one of those two specific scenarios. There's typically two scenarios where you do not want to advertise. So first I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Dan and I'm the owner and founder of Accounting Kings, where we work with accountants to help them get more higher revenue business owner clients who buy the higher revenue accounting, tax and or bookkeeping services. And I create these videos because I have a lot of knowledge about helping accountants get more clients, and I just know that there are so many accountants that can deliver an amazing service to so many business owners, but they just don't really know or don't really have the time to actually find out ways to get in touch with them. And of course, I don't want you to be one of them, so that's why I create these videos. Now, without further ado, let's dive into my computer right now and I will show you exactly when not to advertise as an accounting firm owner. Okay, so this is exactly when not to advertise for your accounting firm, because it's so important that if you are going to make the decision that you are going to invest money in advertising and also time and effort in advertising, there is a moment, actually two moments or a few moments in the journey of an accounting firm owner when it's actually not a good idea to start paid advertising. So let's dive into this right now. Number one is if you are struggling to pay the bills. There is always a chance that you are going to lose out on your investment, especially if you only have a very small budget. You know for sure that if this budget is done and you don't have any more money, that you cannot continue advertising, because as an accounting firm owner, you know that if you attract a client, you're not going to make a profit from this client in the first month, most likely. Probably not even in the first 2-3 months. If you only have a budget that will last you for like 3 months of advertising and you don't know really what you are doing, then there's always a chance that you are not going to make a profit from your investment. And then it's a total waste of all the money and time and the effort that you've put into this. So if you're struggling to actually pay the bills, it's probably not the best to actually start advertising for your accounting firm. And now I'm thinking about it, this is actually also tying into needing results now. So let's say that you are struggling to pay the bills, right? And you really want to grow the business faster. It's a too high risk to actually invest in marketing, because if it goes south and you are not going to make it work, maybe you need to get back to your corporate job, which is probably not something that you want to do, right? So this is more if you are in the very early stages of your firm and you don't have any money left, like this is the only thing that you actually have, and you don't have any savings or credit to actually invest in marketing for longer than a month, then it's probably not the best to start advertising for your firm. And it's probably best to do cold outreach. And I will touch base in cold outreach a little later in the video. So if you are struggling to pay the bills, the reason why it's not a very good plan to actually start advertising is because it takes time to make advertising work. I always say to my clients, the first month is just data gathering, for example. The advertising platforms, doesn't matter if you advertise on Meta, LinkedIn or Google, there is always a time where you need to gather data, because the algorithms, they don't know what type of clicks tend to convert, and they don't know if even the users of the platform are having a good experience with your advertising campaign. And they are not going to actually give you the good type of leads if they don't trust your campaign yet, and if they don't know what type of leads convert. So there's always a period in your digital advertising campaign where nothing is going to happen. And if you are going to start the advertising campaign in a way where you're having uninformed optimism, I want to kind of tell you right now, if you're really struggling with paying the bills and this needs to work for you to actually keep the business running, then it's not the best to actually start advertising now, because there's always a risk that you will lose out on your investment, and it also takes a little bit of time before you are going to make a profit from your investment, okay? And this ties back into the second thing, need results now. Because there's always a ramp up period of data gathering in every advertising campaign. If you need clients now, so for example, you've lost a big client that was worth like 50% of your revenue and you really need to replace this client within a week or a month, it's probably not the best to actually start advertising. We have had for my clients, I run campaigns where we got like a 4,500 per month CFO client in the first month. The thing is also, most of the times it takes a little while before the campaign is up and running. And if you need results now and you cannot wait for a month to actually see results, it's also not best to actually start running an advertising campaign. And then it's best to actually do cold outreach. So the reason why it's best to do cold outreach if you are struggling to pay the bills and need results now is because it's free and you can get results today. I've heard stories of people doing cold calls, just calling businesses and scheduling sales appointments later that day and actually closing a client the same day. This is a pretty extreme example, and you do of course need to know what you are doing, but it is possible. If you as an accountant, you are in a situation where you hate the corporate job that you are in and you just don't really want to stay in a situation of listening to someone else that is not really appreciating the work that you do for the company and just want to run for yourself and work with clients yourself, and you need results now, cold outreach is probably the better option to go with. So you can, for example, do cold calls, you can do LinkedIn outreach, you can do Facebook outreach. Things like this will be free most of the times, unless you have like LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which is like $80 per month or something like that, or cold calls. But the only downside to this, it takes time and it's not a lot of fun to do. So I have been doing cold calls when I was starting the business, and it's just not fun. Just being on the phone for like 3 hours every day and talking to people that are sometimes not that happy that you are calling is not a very fun thing to do, but it works. People do it because it works. And if you are in a situation where you are struggling a little bit with paying the bills and you need clients as soon as possible, cold outreach is a big option for you. Thing is, if you do have some cash left and it will not be, you don't have to sell your kidney if you are not going to make it work, then of course you can do advertising. But you always need to realize it takes a little bit of time before you are going to see a positive return on the investment, and there's always a chance that you will lose out on the investment. With cold outreach, the only thing that you are able to lose is time. And most of the people that are in a situation where they don't have money, they most of the times do have time because they don't have the clients to actually serve, okay? So cold outreach is the best option if you are in a situation where you need results now, today, or in the next week, and where you don't have the resources to actually invest in any marketing efforts, okay? So those are two big reasons to not advertise if you are an accountant. Now, another thing is not having a proven service. And with proven service, I do not mean that you need to have at least, for example, 5 clients and then you know you have a proven service. You can also have a proven service if you have been in a corporate world for a few years, because you do know how to actually deliver the service, right? You do have all the expertise of tax, accounting, and bookkeeping. With proven service, I mean, let's say that you are an accountant and you want to sell CFO advisory services, but the only thing that you have been doing for the last few years is doing bookkeeping, and you don't really have all the in-depth knowledge of giving like fractional CFO services to multi-million-dollar businesses. It's probably not a really good idea to then start advertising for fractional CFO services, okay? I'm not saying here that you need to be like the number one expert in your market, absolutely not. But you, of course, do need to be able to actually deliver a good service to your potential clients, because as you know, you are good with numbers if you're watching this and if you are an accountant. If you attract a client from your marketing efforts, so let's say you spend $2,000 on ads and you attract a client that is going to pay you $1,000 per month, takes a few months before you're actually going to see a return on the investment, which is fine. That's business, right? You need to invest money to make money. However, if you spend $2,000 to attract a client that's going to pay you $1,000 per month and they leave after month 1 because you are not able to deliver a great service, then you have just wasted your money. So you need to be able to deliver a good service before you are going to advertise. And to be honest, if you are an accountant, you have to deliver a decent service. It doesn't have to be like best accounting service in the world, because at the end of the day, the business owner, you will always be able to do better than the business owner, right? And you can always deliver value to the business owner as long as you are doing it better to them. You make sure they are compliant and saving money, okay? So of course you do need to know what you are doing, but it's not that you have to have the newest software. You can also just bring them on board with a Zoom call or like a Google form. It doesn't have to be fancy, but you do need to be able to deliver a good service to them. Otherwise you will never see a positive return on your investment. Then number 2, not having a long-term plan. So if you are in a situation where you want to sell your business next month, and then all of a sudden you decide, let's advertise, and you attract a client, sure, you can sell this client to the person that is going to buy the firm, but it's probably just a better way to just save yourself the hassle of creating and running a marketing campaign. If you don't have a long-term plan, then you can get a client that's going to pay you $1,000 per month, and you can make a positive return on your investment after a few months. But if you're going to sell the business in a few weeks, it doesn't make a lot of sense to actually invest that money now. So with long-term plan, you need to realize, okay, well, if I'm at the end of my business career, or I want to sell the firm and focus on different services. Let's say you start making money from attracting a client in month 4, but you are going to advertise right now and you're going to sell the business in the future in 3 months from now, and you're not going to make a profit. It doesn't make sense to actually run the marketing campaign. Okay, so of course you are an accountant yourself, you are better with numbers than I am, so this hopefully probably makes a lot of sense. But I thought to include it in there because it's very true. If you are in a situation where you probably want to sell the business in a few months just because you like to see new clients coming in, but you also know that, hey, I'm only profiting from my clients in month 4 and I'm going to invest my money right now to get those clients, it doesn't make sense to invest and start an advertising campaign. So those are the main reasons to not advertise. Okay, just to quickly summarize, do not advertise if you need to make this work as soon as possible. Those things can be combined a little bit because most of the people that are struggling to pay the bills need results now. And then it's just better to go through the pain of doing cold outreach, sending hundreds of messages to potential clients to get a few clients sooner rather than later, without having the risk of losing money, only losing time. Okay, so if you are literally starting out and you literally don't have a penny left, then don't do this. If you do have some money left and yeah, you can in theory risk this, then of course advertising is a good option. Now, number 2, not having a proven service. If you just don't know how to deliver the service you want to deliver, and there's a risk that your clients will leave after a few months, of course, do not advertise. It's a long-term play, as everything in business most of the times. And then not having a long-term plan. If you are planning to sell your business in 3 months from now and you are only going to profit from your clients after month 4, it's not worth investing your own money to actually make this work. Although it's fun, of course, to grow the business, but that's a whole story for another time. So yeah, quick video because I get this question a lot, like, is it actually the right time for me to advertise? Am I too small? You're only too small to advertise if you don't have money and you need to make this work now, okay? So that's the main thing, quick video. If you are an accountant and you want to grow the firm, but you don't have all the time and the expertise to do this yourself the right way, there's a link in the description. You can click on it where you can see how I can potentially help you in a way where we only profit until you do, because I know this works. Also, if you enjoyed the video, but you still have some other questions that you want to get an answer to, everything sales and marketing related for accounting firm owners or bookkeepers or tax professionals, just leave a comment and I will answer it, or maybe even make a video about this. And yeah, if you don't want to miss any other videos, just click on subscribe so that you can also see any other videos in the future. So again, thank you so much. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I hope that this provided you some value, some insights, and I hope to see you in the other video. Thanks.